Good evening, good evening. How is everyone? Can you guys hear me okay? I've got a little different setup today. Actually, I'm going to change how we do this too. I'm going to put 30 minutes on the sauna timer. And hopefully... Good evening, Chet. Anybody else in here? That's weird. There was more people waiting before I signed on than now that I'm signed on. Interesting. What's happening, guys? Put stuff in the chat you want to talk about. I'm getting geared up here. Just need about 30 seconds. Change the timer. And Truth Provider. Hi, Matt. How's it going, man? How are you? I don't know whether to call you, well, your handle is Truth Provider. We'll just leave it at that. How's everybody doing tonight? Audio working okay? Everyone hear me okay? This is a different, mounted the camera or the phone or whatever you want to call it a little different tonight. Try and, I don't know if there's any longtime listeners on here, but thank you. Thanks, Chet. I've been saying for maybe about almost a year now, a lot of people ask the difference between a corner sauna and a rectangular sauna. One of the mistakes that I made, I did a little test earlier today. One of the mistakes I made last night that caused the phone to overheat prematurely and the live stream to drop off is that in the corner sauna, there isn't really a place on the glass where you can keep the phone mount away from being in contact with the large heaters. And even though the temperature wasn't that much hotter last night than the day before, the infrared spread was a lot more because the phone mount, instead of being, I think the corner sauna works a lot better for this because we're on the 45-degree angle on the front, and there's really a foot between the actual device and the larger heaters. So even if the ambient temperature or the air temperature in the sauna is high, there's a lot more distance between this and the rectangular sauna definitely heats up quicker. But all right, let's get into tonight. I had a note in here for Nate. Really not sure what to offer Nate. I'm also probably not the best person to learn about gut healing from. I mean, the only stuff that I know about that is from my own experiences. And I don't think my gut is perfect because I keep doing things that screw it up. For instance, when we go to Maine and stuff, I'm not eating the best diet. Drinking alcohol a lot more than I normally do. All that kind of stuff. But in the beginning, after the amalgam removal, stuff that I've done in the past to heal the gut for Nate, I think I put it in comments for you, but I'll just repeat it here from the top of my head. I think, oh yeah. Tons and tons and tons of different types of probiotics. I've made kefir. I've done all kinds of stuff. But juicing has helped me quite a bit if you do it consistently for long enough. Just changing your diet, reducing inflammation, going on like an anti-inflammatory diet. There's so many different things. Trying to think of, it would help if there was some context to a particular situation. Some people have gut issues for various reasons, but the majority of us have some type of leaky gut, like the actual gut wall is permeable. So anything you can do to improve that is very helpful. So there's literally a gazillion things you could do, but the problem with that is unless you have a stool test, some of the recommendations are useless because you don't really know what's going on in there. So a stool test will help you see, and you probably need the report read by a functional medicine doctor or some type of certified practitioner. And even I'm not really well versed in that stuff to give you a good idea of what to look for, but there's tons of places. This whole time I'm trying to remember the name of the company that does easy gut tests. It's not the funnest thing in the world. You got to put gloves on and grab some of your stool, put it in double plastic bags, and ship it to them. But once you have that, you can take the lab report, and then you can do a phone or Zoom consultation with somebody virtually, and they can go through and say, hey, you've got like whatchamacallit, flukes in your stool, or you've got this, or you've got that, or you got signs of blah, blah, blah. And then you can kind of tailor it to your situation from there. So let's see how we're doing. What's going on, guys? I see a few more people popping in. I can't see who you are if you don't put something in the chat. Say hello. Put, Rob says, I'm curious why you don't support Sunstream. With your help, I've come to learn of the great product they've got. Where'd the chat go? Purchase one at this point. I'm still curious why. Did I miss something? Hey, Rob, didn't I address this before? I mean, I'm grouchy today, and I'm angry today, but didn't I already talk about this? Why I don't support Sunstream? I mean, it's pretty clear. I have an ethical disconnect with the owner. I used to sell them myself, 8 hours a day on the phone. There's a reason why I don't recommend them. But I'm not about to, publicly slander these guys. I don't wish them any ill will. I think I've even replied to some of your comments on YouTube videos. We just don't believe in the same stuff. The only reason they have an EHS line now is because I stopped promoting them. They weren't willing to do that in the beginning. So that doesn't work for me. Do you want to promote a company that has to be forced into making a product better for consumers when they should have just done it on their own? And their only motivation to do it then is because their number one promoter is not in line with that, and basically said, hey, if you're not going to improve the product quality and make it comparable to the other stuff in the market, then I can't be involved with this. So once that kind of stuff happens, why, people either have integrity and choose to do stuff on their own because they should, or they don't. So if it's a good fit for you and you like it, that's awesome. But please, you're asking me the same stuff over and over. Kathy says, what model are you in now? Sorry if I missed it. Right now I'm in a Radiant Health corner today. I was in a Radiant Health 2-person yesterday, and it was overheating the streaming stuff. Oh, Chet already got it. Sorry guys, this is, I'm working on a new setup to make this better so I can follow along in the chat better. Any other questions? Questions that don't have to do with Sunstream saunas? I'm a little testy today. Trying to get tractor serviced for my 96-year-old grandfather, and his hearing aids aren't working, and he's 1,500 miles away. So it's been an interesting day, and I was questioning earlier why I decided to do a 30 for 30 challenge at 9 p.m. every night, because some days I need a break or I'd like to do something else. Truth Provider says, been watching all your YouTube videos, truly impressed with all your reviews, and also for all the crap you've gone through. Respect. Well, thank you, sir. I keep clicking on the wrong button here. Edwin says, hi Matt, I'm in a small RV. Instead of a tent, can I use a silver-backed foam insulation board and build a box? Absolutely. Trying to think if I have any ideas for you for that. Are you going to collapse it? Or are you trying to make it collapsible? Or where it folds up, Edwin? If so, you could actually, I don't want to use the word bag, but you could actually take a roll of Reflectix or something like that. It's not going to be as insulated and won't hold the heat as much, but anything that you can do to get the heat to bounce around and stay inside will still be effective. You don't necessarily have to use rigid insulation board, but basically you take one layer of Reflectix and then take like a moving blanket, stick it on there, and then another layer of Reflectix, and you're essentially building a collapsible or a flexible insulated wall that's shielded inside and out. That could also work. I mean, of course, this is not going to be the prettiest thing. If you're working within a, oh, okay. Yeah, if it can stay semi-permanent, no problem. Sure. Just make sure that like you use clean cut edges. so that there's not foam hanging out when you slice the board. Make sure all your joints are either sealed up with tape or something like that, because you wouldn't want to heat up the foam inside and then breathe it in. Not a huge deal. I mean, I'm being nitpicky, but I'm not there. I can't see what you're doing, so I'm just being extra cautious so that people don't, end up in a less than ideal situation. Becky says, pulled the trigger and bought a Radiant 2.5 infrared delivery first week of December. Since my service lenses these, he's only, whoa, where are the comments going here? Let me try that again. Becky says, I pulled the trigger, bought a Radiant 2.5 delivery first week of December. Since we started my son with the Lyme's disease, he only has one sleep day in the last 5 weeks. Hallelujah. Only has one sleep day? There must be a phone. It must be a phone. That's why I'm having trouble. It must be a phone autocorrect thing. You mean only one day of bad sleep in the last 5 weeks? I hope not one good sleep day in the last 5 weeks. If there's anything I can do to help you guys, let me know. There are some great, okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, Becky, have you guys looked into Dr. Klinghart's research? Some of the stuff that he says is way off the wall, and I wouldn't subscribe to the parts that don't apply to you. But the other parts, where he talks about turning off the body's reaction to Lyme using the Cistus incanus tea and the, what's that natural sweetener? It has to be like you can't just buy it from the grocery store. It's got to be like not a diluted mixture. Stevia, yes. So you already know about it. Okay, cool. Very good. Perfect. So what's up with you guys? What's everybody doing? What part of the world are you in? How cold is it where you are? Is anybody doing the live sauna challenge? Anybody in their sauna tonight? We started off strong. There was Josh and Lizzie, I think, were in their saunas the first day. Haven't seen them the last couple of days, but it is a little bit difficult to come in here every night at 9 p.m. Not really sure why I picked that. Today would be the day that I was going to skip if so. Brad says, just got my DIY near infrared sauna tent set up with Grow Tent a couple of weeks ago. Love it and sweat like crazy. Already feel better. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Brad. I'm glad. I want to hear feedback about that stuff. If there's anybody else in here, Brad, did you do it on your own or did you buy the course that I put out? If you guys... Chet's in the sauna now, 128 degrees, sweating good. Perfect. I'm at 133, definitely sweating like crazy. Missed that one. Where'd it go? Edwin says, I would use the aluminum duct tape to seal the edges to make sure no foam is exposed. Perfect. Yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah, if it can be semi-permanent, it's be a piece of cake for you. And are you going to make it short where you have to crouch down inside? Because if you are, you might not even need as many lamps, or you could get away with different placement. Like, just be mindful if there's going to be something like really close to you because you're trying to conserve space for the RV. Those things get super, super hot. So make sure there's at least 18 inches between you and the bulb, and that's a lot. Basically, if you're going to be, if it's going to be like waist height, you're going to crouch down to get in because that's what some people do. You probably need less heat if you're going to seal it up really well and it's insulated. It's gonna work like gangbusters, though. I can tell you that right now. Brad says, on my own with help from you. Awesome. Excellent. Do you have any feedback on the DIY sauna course? Were you a beta tester or did you purchase it? For you guys that don't know what we're talking about, saunacourses.com has a DIY sauna course on it. Something that I made to help people that can't afford thousands of dollars for a sauna and all that kind of stuff. And a few people have purchased it and they're working on, building their own until they can save up for a bigger sauna. If you guys hear a loud noise or the thing is moving, I'm just opening the door. I'm trying to be proactive tonight and make sure that the equipment doesn't overheat so I don't lose you guys like last night. That was a bear. Let's see. Becky says, how do we clean a sauna after a session? Becky, I don't go back to the first day of 30 for 30 sauna challenge. The way that I put towels in the sauna, I don't really sweat on the wood. So I don't clean the sauna after every session. I just throw the towels in the wash. Maybe like once a month or so, I'll take a damp cloth and wipe down the wood, the seats and everything else. For people that sweat into the wood and allow their sweat to pool up underneath them and get into the wood grain, yeah, I would wipe it down every day with a damp cloth. Personally, I think the towel method will improve the longevity of the sauna because you're not using so much moisture. These are dry saunas, so other than what you sweat and any humidity from your sweat that's created, there's no moisture in them. So they last for a really, really, really long time if you take care of them. Edwin says it can be 6 feet tall with a chair, 4 feet square. Yeah, that should be good, Edwin. You probably want to leave one side of it a little light so that you can create extra distance between you and the heat source. But if you're making it adjustable, like we're doing it in the DIY, you can work around that. No worries. Once you get your enclosure, though, it'll actually work better than the DIY because I don't think I ever made any videos of it, but I had when I lived at the lake in a different place, I had a shower that had floor to ceiling walls except for the opening, and I took the the insulated board that you're asking about, and I made a door, and then I put these things in there, and it does make a difference. That cubic volume was too big. I needed to add supplemental heat to get it to work right, but for what you're doing, it should work really good. Kitty says, why does it take so long to get a dripping sweat going to local sauna clear light? Well, Kitty, that could be for a bunch of reasons. Is it you, or is it the staff at the local spa that doesn't know how to run the sauna? Because when I was paying for sauna sessions here in Orlando, I was going to a float tank place in Baldwin Park. I was using a Sunlight and Impulse sauna, which is their flagship sauna, right? It should be really hot. The issue was there was nothing wrong with the sauna. It worked okay. But the problem was one day I would go in there and the staff would let it preheat for an hour and it would trip itself to turn off. And then they preheat it for you, 145 usually. Okay, well, if that's the case, then it's most likely you. Do you have trouble sweating when you exercise or work out or anything like that? One of the hacks for that is to preheat your body a little bit. Either do some exercises or put your feet in hot water. That's actually the real hack. Put your feet in hot water 5 minutes before you go in the sauna. It triggers your nervous system to already preheat your core temperature a little bit or raise it to cool you down. And then when you go in the sauna, I don't know how I did this successfully for 2 days and now I can't do it at all. I guess I am my heating schedule or idea of cranking up the heat. Can somebody type in the chat? Are we live again? Is it still skipping around? Froze up right. I'm back here. Mohio. Can you guys see me? Is the audio working? It still looks frozen on my end, but Chet says back. Thank you. Thanks, Dan. How are you, Dan? Get detoxinated. If you guys don't know who Dan is, he runs a program his father, I think, started, and it's very similar to the Scientology stuff, but you don't have to listen to religion, and it's about using the niacin detox. If you haven't checked his stuff out yet, give it a whirl. Cool. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna scroll back up and see if I can pick up where we left off. I don't know how I was able to do this great for the first 2 days, other than I didn't really preheat the sauna too much, so the equipment was buying a little extra time. I know how to fix this. I'm just missing a part today. I'm gonna have to wire up a large screen outside of the sauna. Otherwise, I won't be able to see your comments. And then the camera and microphone will be routed through the roof. I gotta drill some holes in this thing. And then maybe I won't be switching from sauna to sauna after this because it'll be kind of hard to. But that was the other thing that I wanted to do. So I might try this one more day. Hopefully we don't get cut off too much, but I wanted at least you guys to see a different sauna. Not that the results are going to be too much different, but was going to take you in a ceramic sauna. Was going to do the DIY one time. Was going to go in like a high EMF sauna that I have here that I don't really like. But just wanted to show you that they all work. Steam, infrared, whatever. Let's see. Danielle, just got my RHS 2.5 on Friday. Set it up Tuesday. Have used it each night so far. I feel amazing. That's awesome. I love that. Couldn't have made this decision without your videos and help. Thank you. Awesome, Danielle. Thank you very much for the feedback. I really appreciate it. I like it when people, even if it's bad, if you have a bad experience with anything or any company, just let me know. There's usually ways that I can help you out. Mohio, am I saying that right? Missed the first 2 days. This is a great idea. They're basic supplements you advise taking to enhance the sauna detox. NAC. Yeah, I mean, NAC is great for the liver. It's also a precursor to a couple other things that you should research. How much and how long before getting in? I mean, without knowing the details of your situation, which we probably can't get into right now, you would probably either want to see a functional medicine practitioner or just start with some basic binder therapy and then look into some mobilizers later. But NAC as a whole is not really, I mean, I guess you could say it enhances detox, but for sauna purposes, it's really, Rob says, sorry to push any buttons. I truly don't know any backstory. No worries, man. I'm just short fused today. I'm having a hard day. I'm having a rough day. It's not you. There's a lot of history there with the Sunstream guys. I promoted their saunas for, I think, a year, and I worked my ass off for them willingly. I wanted to. I just kept trying to push them to improve the product, and I even disassembled their own, saunas and came up with ways to try to make it better, but they weren't really interested in improving them. So I basically hit the bricks and said, thank you very much. I wish you guys all the best, but I want better products for myself, and I refuse to promote, stuff that I don't use myself to other people. So I did that, and then later they came back and improved the product, and I was like, well, what the hell? We could have done this shit all along. So kudos to them in a way, but for me, I don't want to have to force people to do the right thing. I want, like, companies and brands and products that I endorse, I want them to want to do the right thing because they should, not because I have to force them to do it. So for me, that's an ethical disconnect, and it's a hard one to get over. Maybe I will someday, because I love the idea of the heater on the back of the door. There's some other stuff that I don't really like, and I don't think they've truly fixed everything. Like in the lower left-hand corner of every single sauna, where the wire comes back to the connector on the back of the panel, if you stick an EMF meter right there, they probably still have a spike that's higher than it should be. Used to be anywhere from 5 to 30 milligauss, which is, whatever. But anyway, that's a more level-headed synopsis of, let's see, seat heater in the car? Oh, I remember now. Okay, so Kitty's saying seat heater in the car. You got to remember, this thing is completely shut down, and I forgot where we left off. So hot water soak definitely helps. Video froze, lost ya, crooked phone. Bought the sauna course, very informative. Enjoying the sauna, easy to purchase. Thanks, Mike. I really appreciate the feedback. Becky, I'm back. You didn't lose me. Matt's iPhone is now an iLava. Yeah, I think I might be doing a number on it, actually. It seems to be, the sauna is off now. I completely shut the heaters down. But it seems to be progressively getting worse. Mohio says, link to the sauna course. Just go to saunacourses.com and then click on the DIY sauna. The other stuff's not ready. It's not done. It'll be a while. Let's see. Certifiedsaunas.com. There's a link there. Dan says, thanks, Matt. Back. David, just put together Radiant Health 3-person corner. Just used it once, but it was great. Awesome. That's what I'm in right now. Inverse square law handles those EMFs. Dan says, I think he's saying that basically distance will take care, or distance is your friend, as we normally say. I don't remember what that's in regards to, because I only see 2 comments at a time, and then I have to scroll. The clips on the sides of the doors don't clip, but I have a call with them to see the problem. David, what are you talking about? The clips on one side of the doors don't clip, but I have a call with them. Are you talking about the little magnetic strips to hold the door closed? And if you are, is that a just tie an ice pack to your phone with an elastic band? Yeah, it's not so much the temperature. It's that it's the same way that the infrared sauna is heating us up, right? Like, it's penetrating the skin and heating up the water molecules underneath your skin. So it's kind of like penetrating the phone and heating it up from the inside out. It gets super, super hot on the inside. And it shuts down. Like, if you were to touch it, for every inch of distance from the EMF source, the effect is diminished by half. Yeah, Dan is right about that, especially for magnetic fields, but not so much on the electric. Like, if you look at body voltage and you get in a high electric field sauna, what are we talking about here, Dan? I can't remember. I'm sorry. Are we talking about a specific sauna or a DIY thing or something else? I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time following today. The reason that I'm asking is because, like, the bag that we tested, in general, yeah, I would agree, except for the electric fields. Like, the electric fields, we don't have any magnetic fields in the DIY sauna with the heat lamp bulbs, even though the heat lamp stuff is not really my favorite thing. But if somebody doesn't have money and they need to sweat and they need the healing benefits of a little bit of heat therapy. It's a solution for them until they can save money to get something else. Just out of curiosity, is there infrared? Lux 11, are you talking about right now? No, I have it shut off so that the thing doesn't overheat again. We lost the live stream maybe 5 minutes ago. And if you guys didn't hear what I said earlier, what Dan and I are talking about, Dan is Get Detoxinated. That's his handle. If you guys haven't checked out his stuff before, he and his father have a really cool book about the niacin detox. And maybe it cut out earlier, but I said that it's very similar to the L. Ron Hubbard stuff with the Scientology, but you don't have to listen to any religion things. So a little better. Brad says, when would be best to sauna, after waking up or before lying down? Brad, I've always recommended that people sauna at night, just because I find that it improves my deep sleep. But there are some people, especially Josh from the other day, who says if he saunas at night, he gets a charge of energy and he can't sleep. So it really comes down to, you. There's also another train of thought, like basically when you sleep, you're fasted. And so when you wake up in the morning, one of the best times to do detox or do juice cleanses or any of that stuff is in the morning. So some people believe that the best time to sauna is also in the morning because of that. You really have to play around with it. I would say that's the best honest answer. There's probably no one size fits all thing that works for everybody. But I like to do it at night just because I sleep like a baby whenever I sauna at night. So, and the only reason that I picked 9 p.m. Eastern here is because some days I get caught up with certain work activities and I wouldn't be able to stop to meet the live stream deadline. So I just picked something that was late enough that both worked for me, like my personal sleep. So I can sauna at night and sleep fine. And work and other things don't get in the way. The only thing now is that I can't really do anything for myself in the evenings. Brad says, or David says, the clips that attach to the side panel of the door, they don't close correctly. No worries. I have to call them to see why they're not closing. The clips, if there's clips that are not attached to the door, that sounds like maybe it was broken or damaged in shipping. Because the only thing that you have to put on the door is already, almost all the saunas, except for like a Clear Light Sanctuary, most of the saunas, even Clear Light Premiers, the door is already mounted in the front wall frame. And the only thing that you have to put on is the handle because it sticks out so far. When they lay them flat in the packaging for palletization, they're not able to get it small enough with the handle on. But you shouldn't have to put on, unless it's a Sanctuary or something else. Radiant Healths are not like that, but just saying that in case anybody else sees this later. You shouldn't have to put on any clips. So if that's an issue, it's probably damaged in shipping, they'll take care of you. Just email them a picture or something of what's wrong with it. That does happen sometimes. I mean, things get damaged. Truth Provider says, my friend went to a Sweat Lodge TP tent with First Nations people, said it was super hot. It is really hot. That was my first, I was a long time ago, almost a decade ago now. A sweat lodge is really hot, like to the point where it'll make you feel like you're gonna pass out if you don't get out and take breaks. But that's a lot different. There's also other, you could say, like energetic things going on. Like I was at a men's retreat when we did it, and there was probably almost 20. It was a big teepee, and there was only almost 15 to 20 guys in there at one time, and that gets pretty intense. And they're doing all kinds of other stuff like the natives used to do. They were doing chanting, and like it was a pretty serious experience. I had to get out a couple of times. Truth Provider says it's on in the morning, then I need an afternoon nap. Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds about right. Okay, I think I'm all caught up. Do you guys have other questions? Any comments? Looks like we're not flowing as good today. I know I don't do as good of a job when it drops off and then we have to reconnect and all that stuff. And now, of course, I'm not sweating and can't show you the other things inside the sauna. So got to fix this. Any other questions, guys? We are going on 29 minutes now. Any other comments? Feedback, positive, negative? I'll take it all. You guys got to put stuff in the chat. I'm wondering if there's a lag for the chat too. Like the last comment it shows on my timestamp was 9:27. Dan says tomorrow intros gel. What do you mean, Dan? You like it? Don't like it? You just want me to talk about it? Or what do you think? You guys use using intros gel with your niacin detox protocol? Or are you just doing the regular, whatchamacallit binders? I have a question about the water versus gel. We could do it now if you want. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. Positive feedback. This helps. Brad says, thanks for all the help. See you tomorrow. Problem is shipping it to the US. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is a huge problem. And sometimes, especially with the Amazon vendors, they charge an arm and a leg. They want you to buy it. One of my links that I used to send to people, it now shows that it's like $100 or something. Originally I was paying under $20 a tube. Like, this really keeps me motivated. Sauna daily, set time aside. Awesome, Chet. Yeah, me too. Kind of forces me to. Dan says, it comes out watery, it is not working. Hey, Dan, do you have a bad tube? Or are you mixing it up before you open the cap? Like, you know how toothpaste, if it sits right side up for too long, all the solids kind of separate a little bit, and then you kind of have to squeeze the tube and mix it up yourself? The Intros gel is the same way if it's been sitting for too long. Nah, it shouldn't. Don't pay $100 a tube. That's crazy. If I have to, eventually we're gonna do like a mass order of it or something. Research told me that it can't be frozen. Yeah, it's probably not a good idea. But have you mixed it up though? Like the tube that you have is watery. Has it been sitting on its lid for like months? Because if you flip it over and then mix it up quite a bit, you can squeeze some out into a spoon and then kind of play with it. You can tell when shipped it was frozen when it was shipped. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. The stuff that I have is rather old. I bought a bunch of it when I first started using it and had good results with it. The only stuff that I've bought since then has been for other people. Yeah, I looked into it. As far as finding a source, I think the only thing to really do is I think there's a bulk distributor in Australia, and I think the only thing to do is put in a large order and import it. I mean, I probably should have done that stuff a long time ago, just to offer it to people at a fair price, because there's no reason that you should pay $100, whatever it says on Amazon. It's nuts. It should be like $15 to $18 for a tube, no more than that. And if you buy a bunch of them, there should be some type of a discount. But I just don't really want to be in the business of shipping small stuff. Is it New Zealand or Australia or both? Yeah. Yeah, everyone says a big order is a good idea unless you're the one sitting there in front of the labeling machine every day when the orders come in and you have to spit it out and do all this stuff. I mean, I'm not set up to have a shipping and receiving department here to do that, but eventually, what temperature? I don't know, Jonathan. It depends on too many factors. What size the tent is. Jonathan says, if you guys can't see it, what temperature does your DIY sauna get up to? I don't know. I don't think anybody could tell you unless you said how many lights do you have in there, what size is it, because people are buying different size tents. They're using different amount of heat lamps. Some people are doing it with the vents open. Some people are doing it with the vents closed. It's not so much an air temperature thing. It's just, how do we get Art Vanderlei import export, Truth Provider says. Dan laughs. Don't be a shipper. Yeah, the reason that I don't sell physical products, which would probably be, I mean, I lose out on I could make a lot of money if I would sell physical products, but I don't like shipping stuff, so I would have to set up a whole new business in order to do that, and I don't know if that's really for me. So, but we could talk about, I'm not familiar with Seinfeld, I'm sorry. I'm not I should be, right? But I'm just not a TV person. I don't really watch a lot of TV. I don't have cable or anything like that. I did watch some Netflix though. There was a couple of really good shows on Netflix that I really got into, and that was weird. I'm not a person that's like, Andrew says, hey Matt, I'm in the process of buying a sauna. You've been my number one resource. Thanks for all your work. I'm getting a clear light based on your recommendation. Cool. Glad you like it, Andrew. Dan says LMO. Are you saying LMAO? Or are you referencing a fulfillment house? I'm not sure. Not sure. How's your program? I forgot to ask you, Dan. How's your program going? How's your niacin detox stuff going? Somebody sent me a few of your things asking a question. And what are your thoughts? Jonathan says, what are your thoughts on the Moore's camping tent saunas? I don't know what that is, bud. Is it just a different brand of the same? Because there's a whole bunch of those things. And the problem with them is, and there's nothing special about the brand that we have in the course. The only thing that's unique about it, compared to some of the other ones, is it's the one that has the metal poles. I just have a really hard time with having a heated tent with PVC poles. Just not because you're going to heat it up so hot that they're going to bend and break and you're going to, get burned or something. But if somebody were to knock one of the fixtures loose and those little infrared bulbs were to turn themselves onto the PVC, that damn thing, I mean, there's several hundred degrees surface temperature. So those PVC poles would just melt and then it would kind of cave in on itself. And so I'm very leery about recommending other brands. But as long as it's something similar that has metal poles, you'd be fine. There's nothing special about the one that we use. It's just one of the cheaper ones. They tend to have them in stock. That was the other problem. You buy something, it works good, out of stock. So then you tell people what to do and they're like, hey, we can't buy the damn thing, and then you're kind of screwed. Dan says, much better is remote coach service than people coming to the center. Yeah, I could see that. Well, no one knew that we were going to have a COVID year either, right? Truth Provider says, Dallas is a good detox center. William Ray, not sure if he's still alive. Never heard of it. That's interesting. Andrew said, I see this is 30 for 30. Is it recommended to sauna every day? No, Andrew. Go watch the first episode. There's some disclaimers in there. I should probably put up some other ones. No one should sauna every single day. In my opinion, even if you're very heat tolerant, you shouldn't sauna 7 days a week. You should give your body rest. Most people start out with every other day or 3 days a week if you've never been in a sauna before. This wasn't really to get other people to push the envelope. It was really just a commitment to get me on here and do the lives every single day. And then it's a lot easier if I'm in here sweating and can answer questions and show you the stuff as I'm going through it. And you can see the different stages that the body goes through. But we're having some technical difficulties. I'm not sweating right now because the sauna is off. If you came in after I dropped the live stream because the equipment overheated, that's what's going on. Jonathan says it's an outdoor tent that's triple layered to retain heat. It comes with a sauna stove. Think of it like being a teepee. I'm not sure. I've never seen it. If you want me to take a look at it, I can't do it here. Go to my blog, cleverleverage.com. Go to the contact page. Just put your name and email in the form and tell me what it is, and I'll take a look at it. Those go straight to me, by the way. Skip the stuff at the top. It's just to keep people it's just to get people to leave me alone. I sauna 5 days a week. Truth Provider says. Dan says, Truth Provider, William Ray was almost on it. However, he wasn't fully on board with the niacin sauna detox. Indeed. Yeah. I like the niacin stuff. Sometimes people have a hard time with it, but it can be a complicated protocol, as Dan could make you guys aware. And usually when people do it wrong or they're not paying attention to supplementation or whatever, they do too much too quickly and then all hell breaks loose. And that's when they get into trouble. And then niacin detox has a bad name. Right, so it's very useful, but it should be used with caution. Truth Provider says I use niacin sometimes. So do I. I'm gonna do it here on the 30 for 30. I haven't had niacin probably in a couple of months. I haven't tried any at all. And I also have what do I have left? I've got the tablets left, not the capsules, and those work super fast. Like if you know what you're doing, you're on an empty stomach, you can take a dose and you can flush in like 11 minutes. It's pretty nuts. So I was going to do some of that stuff here on camera and show what it looks like and do some funny things. Andrew says, I've heard you talk about near infrared. I've read that one of those two focuses on immune health. Do you feel that far is highly beneficial for immune system? Well, that's kind of a loaded question there, Andrew. Let me read that again. I've heard you talk about mid to near infrared. I've read that one of those two focuses on immune health. Do you feel that far infrared is highly beneficial for immune system? Well, I don't know. I think there's a better way to maybe explain it or talk about it or reference it. So one of the ways that the sauna is boosting immune function is just because it's heat therapy. So you could go in a traditional sauna and you could still get an immune function boost. There's no infrared in there. But you guys are screwing. Oh, mid and near. We're probably looking at red light therapy stuff too, like the NASA research that's done on lasers and PBMT devices. And the issue with that is there are sauna companies like Sunlighten that puts a grid of 50 LEDs behind a grill, which is stopping absorption. And then they call it a full spectrum sauna. And then they market the damn thing and say that you can get, red light therapy, PBMT healing benefits. The sales staff references NASA research, but it's done in a different application. That's a hard question for me to answer on here. Probably be better for me to do a separate video on that. But you have to think, sometimes when this stuff comes up, one of the things is to just go back to the basics, right? You can get an immune system boost from hormesis. So far infrared is producing a sweat or causing your core temperature to rise in these saunas. There can be mid-infrared or near-infrared or whatever present, and there's other, cellular benefits just from red light therapy. But near-infrared and red light therapy doesn't heat you up. So if you were just using those, you're not going to get you're not going to get the same body response from heat therapy as you are from red light therapy, though both of them could have an increase in immune response or immune function. But the method by which they're generating that is different. So I'm not sure how to answer your question. It's probably not the best day for me to answer it either. I'm struggling today and I'm crabby. Just being honest. Truth Provider says, been saunaing for the past 25 years. Back then he was using a stone heater. Oh yeah. Mitch says, hey, from Australia, just seeing you. Could you recommend the best infrared sauna for weight loss and back pain? Well, any of them, Mitch. There's not one infrared sauna that's necessarily going to resolve your back pain and make you lose more weight than another. It's more of the process that it's going to put your body through when you use it. So as long as you're in a quality unit, the results, they might be marginally different, but it's not like the sauna companies say. It's not like, there's a couple other saunas in this room. If I did a 30 for 30 in this sauna today, and then I did one in there tomorrow, is there a little difference in the heat up time? Is there a little difference in how much I sweat? Sure. Is it like 90 to 95% the same outcome? Yes. So I would focus on just getting like quality equipment, things that are well made, low EMF, low VOC if you can afford it. And that should probably get you in the right direction. Most of the time, the way people lose the most weight in a sauna is just from regular consistent use because they're burning calories without moving. And they're also doing a few other things with exchanging lymphatic fluids and all this other stuff. And then if you're doing that, most of the time you're not just doing the sauna, right? You're doing other stuff. Like a Sunstream sauna. My initial reaction to this is, are you fuckers working for these guys? This is twice now in the same stream. No, what most people probably don't know, but I'm giving you guys the benefit of the doubt. Mitch, Sunstream is probably one of the only things that you can get in Australia that's really good other than a Clearlight, but the Clearlight Essential is different than a Clearlight Sanctuary, which is pushed a lot in Europe, and the price that they charge for them over there, both the Sunstream and the Clearlights and the other stuff, is nuts, crazy expensive. And if you didn't get the joke or the reference, there was a guy earlier that's asked in several comments or live streams about those same saunas, and I was getting a little perturbed. So Chess has started out in a Sunlight and Impulse. I sweat more in Radiant Health. That's awesome. That's cool. I never had trouble sweating in the Impulse. I just didn't like how long it took to heat up, and then I also didn't like the EMF stuff. They have pretty crazy things going on in there. And then I think obviously the full spectrum part in that particular build, the Clearlight and other ones that have full spectrum heaters are much different. But the way that they design that, I think it's basically borderline a scam. You can't You can't put a light therapy device. You can put far infrared behind any type of fat. You could wear a shirt in here and you're still going to sweat. But you can't put a shirt on and expect to get the same absorption from red light therapy. So I have a huge issue. It's probably why I sound salty when those things come up, or I talk about it frequently. Linson says, do you think this sauna kit can be installed in the basement? Linson, which sauna kit are you talking about? You're talking about like one of these that I'm in? If you are, I mean, tell me yes or no, and I'll tell you what to look out for. Are you talking about like a portable thing? Truth Provider says, one of my friends just bought a Heavenly Heat. He said it was made of aspen instead of poplar. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with those. I tried to get a Heavenly Heat maybe again 2 months ago. I called and talked to the owner, and it was kind of a weird experience. And at the end, he just kind of said, you know, oh, I've got to go. There's another customer on the other line. I was like, okay, well, I was going to buy one, but I don't know. It's weird. I think they're a small mom and pop company. I talked to Orrin Miller, and he said that he helped them lower the magnetic fields in their saunas to make them a lot safer and stuff like that, which I think is cool. So it's probably a great choice if you are chemically sensitive and you're looking for something that's made in the US. I don't know if they still have like a gazillion screws in them or not. I haven't looked. Chet says they're very pushy as well when you call them Sunlight. Oh man, they will hound the ever-living hell out of you. Mitch, yeah, they were so expensive. Thanks for answering my questions. Sure. Bog Morgan is a character. Every time I am getting ready to sign off, the attendance starts to rise. So I can stay another few minutes. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Any questions? Anything that you want answered today? I'll be back on tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully we'll have a different solution so I can be sweating the whole time. Did I miss Dan's? Get detoxinated. Truth Provider, look up rebound hypolysis. Yeah. Yes. Thanks for all your videos. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Did I miss anything else? I think we're good. All right, I'm gonna sign off. We'll ooh, that's a good one. I like that one. Can we save that one for tomorrow, Andrew? Any experience with sound therapy in sauna? So I have a secret little project going in the other room in my spare time, which is almost never. And I've been turning a massage table into a sound therapy table. So I have been using mounting plates on the bottom to add sound therapy resonators. And it's been an interesting experience so far. I'm doing what's called a cross-lateral application right now, which is where you run the lower and the upper out of polarity with each other. So your left and right, your lower is swapped from the top. And it's supposed to kind of give you like this out-of-body experience or feeling or whatever. And it's been very interesting. I like it a lot. It's but I haven't figured out the details. Definitely haven't used it in the sauna, but something else I'd like to talk about. Allison says, hi Matt, purchase your DIY sauna guide is great. Thank you. Question on the off gas. There's videos in there that talk about that, Allison. You purchase the charcoal bags, but they wonder if that's all you need. Off gas. I mean, are you experiencing an issue? Because there's usually no smell from it, and it's ventilated. So if you're really worried about off-gassing, the easiest thing you can do is just to open one of the vents or leave the zipper a little open. And then if you have your charcoal bags in there, I mean, that's about as good as you can get. You're not going to get, I mean, even the portable saunas that you buy for $1,200, zip yourself up in like a little tent and your head sticks out the top. There should be, I mean, you're in a much better position with that. I wouldn't worry about it too much unless you're having an issue. If you are, just scroll to the very bottom of the course. My personal email address is in there, and just send me an email. I'm happy to help you personally. It's hard for me to follow along with this and really hone in on what your trouble might be. Linson says, portable sauna in the basement, do you think there would be issues? No. If it's portable, absolutely not. I thought you meant one of these big ones. The reason that I asked for clarification is when I used to sell these things all day long over the phone, the only issue with people installing them in a basement, there's usually two. The height of the ceiling. So you've got to have a few extra inches taller than the overall height of the sauna. in order to get the roof up high enough to slide it on, and then until it locks down. But until it locks down, your height is a little bit higher than the external measurement of the sauna. So if you're in a really short basement, there might not be room to do that. The other thing is, if you're putting a family-sized 4-person sauna in a basement, generally the biggest part of the sauna is the back wall. So if you have a gigantic back wall that's one piece that can't be broken down, the stairway, especially if it's a corner stairway to get down there, if you don't have exterior access, can be really tight. And what you need to do is you need to measure with a tape measure and make sure that you can clear that turn or clear the stairs or clear whatever entry point you have. And so sometimes a large sauna that has a big back wall can't fit. Usually the side walls, the front wall, the roof, the floor, those are usually no more than like 48 by 48, or, you know, within reason. You can easily carry those down a set of stairs, but you can't on the big pieces. So only reason that I mentioned that. We've had some folks in the past, they buy a 4-person sauna and they can't get they're cutting drywall out of the stairwell so they can get the sauna walls downstairs. Not fun. Let's see. Chet said, very interested in this topic as well. Andrew said, Clearlight rep talked me out of it today. Talked you out of what, Andrew? I must have missed these. Yeah, Allison, if you need help with it, just email me. I'm happy to help you. Or if there's hey, at the bottom of the course, there's suggestions in there. If there's a video that should be in there and it's not, just let me know what it is. I'm happy to shoot it for you. And I can usually do it within 48 hours and have it uploaded. So I don't want to leave anybody hanging in that. That's probably the most value on the planet for $10. It's kind of ridiculous. But everyone says thank you. Andrew says sound therapy. Yeah, I'm happy to talk about the sound therapy stuff later. We're going on 51 minutes, and I should probably get to bed pretty soon. Thank you guys. It was good to see you all, and I'll catch you in tomorrow's stream. If you have any suggestions for tomorrow, you can comment below this as soon as it goes up for live replay, or you can throw something in any of the other 30 for 30 videos. I'll see the comment notification. Have a great night, guys.